Strap yourselves in, folks. Grab yourselves a bowl of some dreadcorn and prepare. We've got quite the doozy today from Rider of Rohan. Dark Elves versus Kislev in a land battle scrap for the ages here. Let's take a look at the builds. He's got a Supreme Sorceress of Shadows. No dark magic, just shadows for Melkos. In this particular build, we've got some anti-infantry Witch Elves here with some sad swords. Lots of dark shards. Should trade cost effectively with Kislev's ranged units, especially with those shields, of course. He's got some Dark Riders also with shields and Cold One Knights in the back line. For Kislev, we've got Tsarina Katarine here, a bunch of Kossars, and some things in the woods. Looks like Oath Brothers of Tor. We've got Griffin Legion out on the flanks, so looking for a little bit of a YOLO charge plus Archer build here with, the one heavy war sled also in the center. Let's see what they do. Yeah, I mean, there's no anti-large up front to stop this, so makes sense. Just face charge here with the things in the woods and the cavalry and the sleds and everything else. A beautiful cinematic charge all down the line. You see a nice Death Frost going off there on the Supreme Sorceress. And, look, mad impact damage on those Witch Elves. They get smashed by the chariots. Dark Riders trying to follow up to stop the overrun there into the Dark Shards, but they still do take a lot of damage. In return, though, things in the woods do get blasted by some bolts. Nice countercharge from the dragon there, able to quickly terrify them away. It's going to be a pretty brutal rush initially, which will then turn into a long and interesting game, I have to say. But out on the flanks here, Griffin Legion having a hard time against all these spears, and Cold One Knights, although they are a great cavalry unit, probably one of the best for the cost in the game. They'll trade poorly against the anti-large AP, especially with spear support. Even just here, like where the Cold One Knights are able to get a good charge. This Griffin Legion not trading great there. Pretty painful, but even still able to pull away and perhaps get to the safety of those Kossars, kind of work off of them. The Oath Brothers of Tor also. A really nice engagement here on Dragon Sorceress. Going to be fairly painful for her as the sleds continue to ride on through and just do whatever damage they can to this ranged line. Shut down as many of those Dark Shards as they can in quick succession. Griffin Legion do get by our blood, and oh man, that glorious charge just flattening those Dread Spears. That is actually going to kick off Murderous Prowess, which will give Dark Elves a nice damage spike. Rider Rohan getting far behind on the balance of powers, looking like he needs a little bit of a comeback right now. There's so many Kossars here with so much ammo left. Katarine's still quite healthy, obviously. Both brothers are starting to get worked down. We see some Dark Shards coming back from route here. Dark Riders also moving in once again. A little bit of Melkos, Mystifying Miasma, just whatever damage sources Dark Elves can get, and it is adding up right now. Spearmen also contributing nicely, and the Oath Brothers, without any support here, do run into the unit model problem, where they just don't have enough unit models, end up getting surrounded and kind of taken out there. Things of the Woods not really able to assist properly. And over here, same thing. Things of the Woods able to run in and do a lot of damage, but they are quite squishy. So we'll see. They might come back in the late game and still get some damage done. Heavy War Sleds also trying to run through. I don't know. They might be fighting those Cold One Knights directly. Hard to say there. But Kossars moving up. Need to start focusing down whatever's left of these Witch Elves. In particular, they're going to be a high priority target, like this one moving in right now. These Kossars, I'm not sure. Maybe they actually have a melee attack order. Might be a little bit of a mistake here from Kislev player. We see in the back line there, Heavy War Sled continuing to try and run. They are getting hunted down by the armor-piercing of those Cold One Knights, though, so the Dark Elves are able to re-secure their back line as the Witch Elves charge in to the Kossars here. Again, Kossars didn't stop to shoot them. A couple of volleys probably could have silenced that unit of Witch Elves before they made contact, but instead, they're going to come in here and absolutely blend a unit of Kossars to pieces. Full health to little health in very little time. The Witch Elves probably all die still, but Kislev takes a lot of damage in this process. Nice breath attack there from the front. Still gets a good chunk out of those Kossars. And it looks like, oof, gonna risk it for the biscuit. Rider Rohan moving in with the Supreme Sorceress. Trying to get a rear charge on Katarine. Oop, nope. Just getting feints out of that. And the Dread Spears are left to their sad fate. But let's see, things in the woods. Yeah, this is what you need to do. Focus fire on the units that start charging down your skirmishers. Make sure they can't even make contact. Even still, those Dark Shards do get routed by the bows of the Kossars. But it's going to be a little bit of a shootout in this late game, as both players have quite a bit of skirmish resources left, trying to shoot each other And this is where the Dark Shard's shields will come into huge play. Being able to catch a lot of those arrows and prevent them from dealing damage, obviously, will be huge here. Katarina going to continue responding with her magic, though. And, of course, on the bear or horse mount. Yeah, even on the horse mount, still, it's decent combatant overall. Definitely not a pushover by any means. Old One Knight's going to be moving in. We see Into the Woods, a little bit of a counter charge here. They are just regular axe Kossars, so no anti-large. They're going to be suffering a little bit under this kind of an engagement, but Into the Woods helping to shore up that defense. Breath attack, beautiful side shot contact. Not perfect because of the slope, actually, but yeah, still does get good contact on those Kossars. And the Dread Spear is also moving in. Got a handful of Dark Shards still left alive. Be very important for potentially taking out Katarina in the late game. The Spring Sorceress is so low, only 1800 HP left, that she's got to be careful. Can't just necessarily go in and fight Katarina in a straight-up fight. You don't want to leave it up to RNG, especially with Death Frost still on the table. We see another one getting popped there. Nice Opal Amulet timing from Rider Rohan to prevent a little bit of that damage. Will help mitigate the effects of that somewhat, but still is going to be pretty devastating. Will be enough to actually rout Dark Elf Sorceress. You can see Rider Rohan really does not want to commit to that engagement, but feels like at some point he's going to have to, so just waiting for the right opportunity. And Katarina kind of presents her side there, although not for very long. Goes straight to the front by the time the attack animations are playing, but even still, the Cold One Knights getting some critical support here. A handful of anti-large hits there. Katarina fighting back. Little ice magic there. We'll go into cinematic mode to add a little suspense here. You won't know what's happening with the health bars. Definitely coming down to the wire as Katarina attempts to best what's left of the Dark Elves. And ooh, a couple of charges there. We see the dragons trying to pull away. It does look like the Dragon Lady's routed. Will she actually get killed, though? It's the question. Down to 26 HP, and down goes the Dragon Lady. But even still, balance power heavily in Dark Elves' favor. In fact, Fire Blood procs right about the same time as Katarina continues to lose HP. Ooh, will Fire Blood just win it, though? That's the question. All of a sudden, the balance of power flips back towards even. A nice Frost Breath there on the Dread Spears. They actually countercharge, which does give them a little bit of an extra leadership boon. And now this is the real final stand. Katarina against the Dread Spears. Kicking and smacking them around as they try and drag her down. Lack of armor will come into play. Only 45 armor on Katarina, and she goes down to the lowly Dread Spears. What a finish there. Absolute madness, and quite the game. Yeah, close game, over in 8 minutes, too. Honestly, pretty good. A lot of the times when games are that close, they tend to take a lot longer, but two very much kind of rush-oriented builds, just smashing into each other with some skirmish phase still. But, yeah, overall, Old One Knights do a really nice job trading into the Kislev Cavalry here. Not a great performance from Griffin Legion. I mean, they're a great unit overall, but this is definitely a matchup where the Cold One Knights do trade cost effectively, so it's something to be aware of for sure. The Oath Brothers did pretty decently. The Heavy War Sleds also, because a lot of that anti-large was focused on these cavalry units, were able to run around this backline and neutralize the Dark Shards to a fair degree, although there were still enough hanging around in the late game they were able to contribute. Things the Woods also, not quite cost effective. I do respect the pick for sure, but I think it's better to just go with more traditional, like, heavy cavalry, maybe. Like, if you were to honestly just take the same build and maybe, I don't know, cut one thing of the wood out for 5th Kossar and then change these other 3 for, like, Winged Lancers, I think you probably got some teeth. I don't know, Winged Lancers just, Things in the Woods are good, but the Dark Elves don't really have the armor to justify Things in the Woods over Winged Lancers, in my opinion, and the Lancers do have more armor and a little bit better survivability in that way, but still very fun game nonetheless. Could have definitely gone either way just based on the builds brought, but that's why you play the games, right? So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.